Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to bring you the most important insights fast. Today, we're tackling a health issue that touches an incredible number of lives: diabetes. Beyond its widely recognized prevalence, affecting a staggering 1 in 3 North Americans with either diabetes or prediabetes, we're looking deeper. What if your own body held a powerful, often overlooked protector that could be, a game changer in managing its long-term impact? Our mission today is to uncover this vital molecule, glutathione. We'll explore why it's so essential for people living with diabetes, drawing from in-depth medical discussions and the latest scientific papers. You'll get a clear, actionable understanding of this remarkable substance and its profound role.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Despite, over 180,000 published scientific articles on glutathione, that number dwarfs the research on even vitamin C and E combined. Its critical importance, especially in conditions like diabetes, isn't widely appreciated outside the scientific community. Today, we'll connect the dots between this foundational molecule and the very real-world implications for diabetic health, showing you why it's about far more than just blood sugar numbers. Let's dive in.
Okay, before we dig into our main topic, glutathione, it's probably worth quickly clarifying what's happening at a cellular level in diabetes. We often hear about glucose and blood sugar, but what's really going on inside the body that makes it such a pervasive challenge?
Yeah, good starting point. At its core, diabetes is a condition defined by persistently high levels of sugar, specifically glucose, in the blood. We call that hyperglycemia. Normally, insulin, which is a hormone from your pancreas, acts like a key. It unlocks channels on your cells to let glucose enter and be converted into energy.
Okay, like a key.
Exactly. Now, in type 1 diabetes, the pancreas simply doesn't produce enough insulin, so those keys are missing. Glucose can't get into the cells.
Right. Yeah.
Type 2, which is far, far more common, is different. Insulin is still produced, but your cells become resistant to it. Think of it as the keys are there, but the locks are jammed.
I see. Insulin resistance.
Precisely. Either way, the outcome is the same. Glucose builds up in the bloodstream, leading to widespread cellular impact and complications down the line.
So if that's the fundamental challenge of diabetes, let's turn our attention to our star player today. Glutathione. I've often heard it called the master antioxidant. Can you break down what it is and why it's so fundamental to, seemingly every aspect of our health?
It really is foundational. Glutathione is present in every single living cell, and it's indispensable for vital cellular processes. Maintaining optimal levels is directly linked to robust health, whereas, insufficient levels can compromise critical functions across your body. To remember its main roles, there's a handy acronym: IDEA.
Idea.
Yep. I is for immune system. It literally acts as fuel for your immune defenses. When glutathione levels are low, your immune system can be compromised, leaving you more vulnerable. Robust levels, conversely, optimize your body's ability to fight off invaders.
That makes sense. Fuel for the immune system.
Then D is for detoxification. This is your body's primary system for neutralizing and eliminating countless toxins and pollutants, everything from cigarette smoke and heavy metals to pesticides. Many experts even rank it, next to water, as arguably the most critical detoxification system in the body. It's constantly working.
Wow, okay. Detoxification.
E is for energy. Inside our cells, the mitochondria, our tiny energy factories, generate power. Without a steady supply of glutathione to cool down the oxidative stress produced during energy creation, these mitochondria would essentially, burn themselves out. It's crucial for efficient, damage-free energy production.
Energy production too, so IDE, what's A?
A is for antioxidant. And yes, it is our master antioxidant. While we know of thousands of antioxidants, here's the key thing. None of them could work effectively without glutathione. It actually recharges and recycles them all. The entire antioxidant defense system would really struggle without it.
That's a remarkably broad range of functions. It makes me wonder, if it's so fundamental to so many systems, why isn't its critical role in conditions like diabetes more widely understood? Outside of specialized medical circles, it sounds like an internal cleaning crew that's just essential for keeping everything running smoothly.
That's an excellent analogy, actually. Think of it exactly that way. If your internal cleaning crew, glutathione, is understaffed, things quickly get messy, and that mess contributes significantly to chronic disease.
Considering all that, the connection to diabetes suddenly becomes much clearer. We understand diabetics have high blood sugar, but what specific foundational problems does diabetes create that glutathione helps address? Is it just about the high blood sugar, or is there a deeper underlying issue at play here that glutathione helps mitigate?
You've hit on a really critical point there. While high blood sugar is the hallmark of diabetes, the condition is also characterized by significantly elevated levels of oxidative stress. This means there's an imbalance. Too many damaging oxidants and not enough protective antioxidants. This leads to excessive free radical formation. And this oxidative damage literally plays havoc with cellular metabolism throughout the body.
Plays havoc, right?
So it makes perfect sense then that numerous studies consistently show diabetic patients are deficient in glutathione. Their bodies are using up these glutathione reserves at an accelerated rate, constantly trying to fight off the oxidative damage triggered by elevated sugar and those subsequent free radicals. This leads to a bit of a vicious cycle. High glucose levels directly contribute to plummeting glutathione, and lower glutathione levels leave cells far more prone to damage. Plus, we even see genetic variations in glutathione-related genes associated with an increased risk of developing diabetes, which really highlights its foundational role.
So this isn't just some side note. It's a fundamental issue for diabetics. Oh, wow. Can these glutathione levels actually tell us anything useful about the progression or management of diabetes itself?
Absolutely. The insights here are quite profound, actually. Studies suggest that monitoring glutathione levels could potentially offer a way to foresee the onset of diabetes. Like, if glutathione isn't functioning optimally, diabetes can be an unwelcome consequence. Beyond prediction, it can act as a prognostic tool to gauge the effectiveness of treatments. As patients improve, their glutathione levels often rise in parallel.
That's interesting. A marker for improvement.
Exactly. And we also see a very clear correlation with hemoglobin A1C, that key marker for long-term blood sugar control. High A1C levels often reflect low glutathione and vice versa. This directly links glutathione levels to better sugar management. Knowing how vital glutathione is, it begs the question, what happens when levels drop? And the evidence is clear. The lower the glutathione levels, the higher the rate of diabetic complications.
Okay, this is a crucial distinction then. It sounds like when we talk about glutathione and diabetes, we're not just aiming to control sugar levels, are we? What does this all mean for the patient in terms of their long-term health? What's the bigger picture?
Precisely. That's the key takeaway. While optimizing glutathione might have a modest, maybe indirect effect on blood sugar, its main strategic role in diabetes is to actively diminish or prevent the devastating long-term consequences of the disease. We're talking about preserving the overall health of these patients, going far deeper than just the glucose numbers. What truly makes a diabetic person sick, what significantly shortens their life, isn't solely high sugar, it's the resulting pathologies. The specific diseases and dysfunctions that arise from prolonged exposure to high glucose.
Right, the complications.
Exactly, and these pathologies predominantly manifest as two main issues. First, a compromised immune system. Diabetics are, by definition, immunocompromised. They are far more prone to serious infections. Everything from foot and skin infections to yeast and urinary tract infections. It's a real problem. By improving the immune system through optimized glutathione levels, we can significantly reduce these infectious complications, improving both their well-being and longevity.
Okay, so immune support is one major area. What's the second?
The second, and this is huge, is cardiovascular system damage and malfunction. This is by far the major cause of illness and death in the diabetic population. We're talking about damage to both large blood vessels, leading to macrovascular issues like stroke and heart attack, and small blood vessels, or microvascular problems, which can result in conditions like diabetic blindness, kidney failure, and peripheral nerve damage. Poor circulation and vascular health are absolutely central to diabetic morbidity and mortality.
So this damage to blood vessels is absolutely key then. Can you explain maybe a bit more how that process unfolds and how glutathione specifically intervenes to protect them?
Yeah, think of inflammation in these arteries, maybe like a buildup of rust in a pipe, but obviously on a microscopic level. The delicate inner lining of our arteries, it's called the endothelium, gets damaged and inflamed. This sets off a whole cascade of events, leading to a buildup of crud plaque that blocks circulation.
Plaque buildup, right.
And this buildup is biochemically complex, but glutathione plays a multifaceted role here. It helps lower unhealthy fat levels in the blood, and more critically, in its role as a key enzyme, often called glutathione peroxidase, it actively prevents the oxidation of cholesterol. That oxidation is a crucial early step in this inflammatory process and plaque formation.
Ah, so it stops the cholesterol from oxidizing.
Exactly. It also minimizes the overall inflammatory response, stabilizes platelets that might contribute to clots, and effectively breaks that vicious cycle of oxidation and plaque formation that eventually blocks arteries. The lower the glutathione, the more likely this damaging process is to proceed unchecked, leading to serious complications.
That's a powerful theoretical explanation of how it works. It makes a lot of sense. But what does the clinical research actually show us? I mean,
Oh,
about raising glutathione and its real-world impact on these diabetic complications.
hmm.
Is there solid evidence?
Oh, yes. The proof is compelling and it's consistent across various complications. A systematic review, which is where they rigorously examine all the available research on a subject to come to a consensus, concluded that raising glutathione in diabetic patients significantly reduced cardiovascular complications, including heart attacks. This is what I would consider clear evidence of its protective role. Really strong stuff.
Wow, reduced heart attacks. Okay.
And for stroke, diabetics suffer a much greater incidence than non-diabetics, right? Studies have shown that low glutathione levels can be considered a significant risk factor for stroke and diabetes. Researchers observed notably lower levels in diabetic stroke patients.
Okay. Stroke risk too.
Regarding kidney disease or renal failure, diabetics with certain genetic defects in glutathione-related genes were much more prone to developing kidney failure, and glutathione levels were found to correlate directly with the degree of kidney disease present, even predicting its severity.
So it tracks with kidney health.
It does, and similar correlations are seen with diabetic blindness or retinopathy. Lower glutathione levels are consistently associated with a higher degree of eye disease. And with peripheral neuropathy, that's nerve damage, glutathione deficiency can predict its severity. There are even studies showing that raising glutathione levels could help alleviate symptoms. The evidence across these diverse complications paints a remarkably consistent picture.
Really does.
So it immediately leads us to consider, if our bodies make glutathione, how can we effectively support its production?
This is truly profound information. I mean, it's clear that glutathione is a massive player in the overall health of someone living with diabetes. So the big question, if our bodies produce glutathione naturally, how can we support that internal production effectively? What can people do?
That's a great question, and it's essential for long-term health, really.
Yeah.
The body does produce its own glutathione, but it requires specific raw materials or precursors, building blocks, essentially.
Precursors.
For years, one substance, N-acetylcysteine, or NSC, has been used clinically as a precursor. Many studies demonstrating glutathione's effects in humans have utilized it. However, NAC has a short half-life. That means its levels peak quickly and then decline rapidly, often even below normal, which necessitates multiple doses daily to maintain consistent levels. It's not very practical for long-term use.
Right, multiple doses. Sounds tricky.
Plus, it's also technically a pharmaceutical drug with potential side effects like rash, nausea, vomiting, cramps, diarrhea, and an unpleasant taste and smell. Not ideal for long-term daily use.
Definitely not ideal.
So a more sustainable and, frankly, patient-friendly approach involves providing the body with the fundamental building blocks it needs to produce its own glutathione reserves. Naturally, we can do this through natural precursors. For example, specific derivatives from milk contain these essential materials.
From milk. Interesting.
Yes, but the key here, and this is really important, is that for these precursor molecules to be effective, they must retain their bioactivity. They have to be active. Processes like pasteurization and common industrial handling can easily denature these delicate proteins, basically damaging them. That prevents their absorption and thus their ability to actually help your body manufacture its own glutathione.
So how it's made and handled really matters.
Absolutely paramount. The method of production and careful handling are critical to ensure its efficacy for long-term use. This allows your body to continuously replenish its own master defender and support its natural protective systems from the inside out.
So bringing this all together then, for our listeners, the profound takeaway seems to be this. While managing blood sugar is vital, of course, supporting your body's glutathione levels offers a complementary, powerful strategy. And it's not just for maybe a little help with sugar control, but for actively protecting against the devastating long-term complications of diabetes, particularly those circulatory problems that impact so many lives.
Exactly. That sums it up perfectly. This really is true preventive medicine in action. It's about empowering your body's own natural defenses to protect against the downstream effects of the disease itself. Understanding and supporting these fundamental processes gives us a powerful tool in the fight for long-term health and can significantly improve the quality of life for those living with diabetes. It's about building resilience from within.
A truly powerful insight into a crucial molecule and maybe a more holistic approach to managing diabetes. We hope this knowledge empowers you to understand your health better. If you want to dive even deeper and find more information on this specific topic, we've put a link in our episode description for you to explore further. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.